Okay guys, what we're going to look at today is a couple more types of graphs, and these graphs are used when we do what's called a frequency distribution. So for example, if I were to take all your class marks and group them into groups, so all the tests, how many kids got between 50 and 60, how many kids got between 60 and 70, how many kids got between 70 and 79, and I group the tests like that. So let's say, 3 kids got between 50 and 60, 8 kids got between 60 and 70, that's called a frequency distribution. Okay, so when we organize our data into a frequency distribution, the two types of graphs that we typically draw are bar graphs or line graphs. Okay, so remember, a bar graph looks like this, and a line graph looks like this, where you join like that. Now, when we have a frequency chart, the bar graph will now be called a histogram. So if you're asked to draw a histogram, that's just a fancy way of saying a bar graph. If you're asked to draw a frequency polygon, that's a fancy name for a line graph. Now, notice the frequency is in the second column, which is your y. So the frequency will always go on your y-axis. Okay, and then whatever your data is, that scale will be used on your x-axis. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll a fair bit ahead here just to find the example I want to do with you. There it is. So let's say we have a class of 25 students, and I have arranged those kids. I found out all their heights, so I'm going to put them into groups. So I have 4 students who are between 5'0" and 5'2". I have 5 students who are between 5'3" and 5'5". I have 9 students who are between 5'6" and 5'8". 4 students between 5'9" and 5'11". 2 students between 6 foot and 6'2", and 1 student between 6'3" and 6'5". Okay, so there's my frequency distribution. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that information and I'm going to construct a histogram. So remember, histogram is the fancy way of saying a bar graph. So frequency is our number of students. Okay, so I have to go back here. So my smallest number was 1 and my biggest number was 9. So I have to go from 1 to 9. So I'm going to count by 2s. Okay, and then my heights are going to go along here. So my first was from 5'0" to 5'2". My next was from 5'3" to 5'5". My next was from 5'6" to 5'8". I think that's how I had it. Yep, and then 5'9" to 5'11". And then I had it from 6 foot to 6'2". And then I had it from 6'3" to 6'5". Okay? So my numbers were, whoops, a little too far there, 4, 5, 9, 4, 2, 1. So 4, 5, 9, 4, 2, 1. So 4, 5, 9, 4, 2, 1. So since this is a bar graph, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw bars for each one of these, like this. Now, you can shade them in if you want, but you don't have to. It's up to you. Now, if I had asked you to draw a frequency polygon instead, then all we would have done with those dots, I'll just do it here in pink, is I would have just connected them with a line, like this. So if you're asked to draw a frequency polygon, it's just a line graph, whereas a histogram is a bar graph. And again, heights of students, and that's all that's involved. Okay, so I think that concludes this lesson. Just give me one quick second. Okay, so the assignment will be attached to the video. As always, if you get stuck or need help, please don't hesitate to ask, and we'll see you in the next one.